Every company faces their fair share of struggles, some more complicated and substantial than others. Whether it be a small problem such as a social conflict between employees or a large-scale public relations nightmare, there are certain issues that need to be addressed and steps to be taken for every situation. Our law firm, C&G & Associates, is facing a crisis that many other companies have faced and will face in the future: embezzlement. When a well-respected and dependable member of the company breaches the trust of the rest of the employees, it creates a multifaceted issue that can only be solved by the teamwork of the other members.
So the problem with our company is that two old law school friends, Kelsey and Grace, who both went to the University of Kentucky Law School, and at that law school they decided it would be a good idea for them to start a law firm together. They are both interested in the same subject of law, so they thought that it would be best for both of them to partner up together and start their own firm. So they start a firm, and it is called C&G & Associates. After time goes on, they realize that they are having an internal issue with money missing, and so they both put their heads together and try to figure out what's been going on. So Grace does a little bit of her own research on her own, and she comes to the conclusion that Kelsey is the one who has been embezzling money from the law firm and from the law firm's clients. But her main issue is that she doesn't know what to do about this problem. Does she turn Kelsey into the firm and they can go from there? Or does she turn her in on her own and then get her disbarred? Or does she try to sweep this under the rug and act like nothing happened? Grace realizes that if the firm finds out that she kept this from them, that the firm will be in trouble. So she goes to everybody else at the firm and tells them what she's found out about Kelsey. After doing this, the firm comes to the conclusion that there's two options. One, they can sweep this under the rug, or two, they can make Kelsey pay for what she's done. The main problem is that the firm loves Kelsey. They admire her and know that she is excellent at her job, and that everything else she has done there, she has done professionally. But at the same time, she has put everybody at the firm at risk and the firm's name at risk. So the firm has come to the conclusion that they are going to have to tell Kelsey that either she can pay the money back quietly, or they're going to have to get her disbarred. And that will in turn that will ruin the firm's name. So everybody at the firm has come to the conclusion that they are going to make Kelsey pay the money back quietly and try to sweep this under the rug. Because if they know that if people find out that a partner at their firm has stolen money, they're going to have a hard time getting new clients to give them their money. But if anybody ever does find out that they kept this, the firm will be in trouble. So hopefully the firm can keep this quiet, and Kelsey will pay the money back and act as if nothing had ever happened. And hopefully that the firm comes to the right conclusion and doesn't do anything hasty in terms of telling on her because they are mad at her, or telling somebody that shouldn't know about the problem they were facing at the firm.
During our research, we noticed that our crisis within our company seems to be a consistent issue, not just within the law firms, but throughout limited liability partnerships in general. An LLP is usually two or more principals that agree to share profits and losses in an ongoing business venture. The principals heightened liability protections from debts and liabilities of partnerships according to the legal environment of business by Sean P. Melvin and Michael A. Katz. It touches base on how limited liabilities are formed and how to dilute them. So one of our recommendations was that they could buy the other partner out and dilute the business. So you have to kind of begin with an operating agreement within your business and how you get it started. And within that agreement, it states exactly how to dilute the business when needed. And so in our case for Grace, in order to buy Kelsey out of the practice and continue running the business on her own, she would have to follow the terms of that operating agreement to buy the other one out as well. It's a great solution and works a lot for a lot of LLPs and certain companies, according to the research found within the text. It says when a partner dissociates herself, the partnership does not automatically dissolve. So, meaning the other partner has the opportunity to buy the other one out and keep the business up and running. Most high-risk companies, like a law firm or a medical practice or whatever, are usually LLPs because of the risks that come with running the company. So both Grace and Kelsey have a limited liability insurance to protect themselves from damages, or in this case, fraud, stated Katz in 2015. So the fact that Kelsey is stealing money, Grace has rights to an equal share that are stated in the operating agreement in the company as well. Some of the research that we found was posted by the Philadelphia Tribune. It's about a personal injury lawyer, Michael D. Jones, and his wife, Donna. They were convicted in connection with a scheme to defraud New York venture capital fund that was financed by Jones' Philadelphia law firm, stated Miller. The article was just an example to show that many LLPs commit fraudulent activity within the company. The money coming into the company was intended to be saved and used for an expansion, but instead they were just taking it and using it for personal use to pay off debts and other things like that. And they were both being tried for up to 5 years in prison on several different felony charges. And a lot of these cases just kind of get swept under the rug. And this just goes to show the severity of that and kind of how Grace is trying to sweep this under the rug and not let anyone know about it in our second recommendation. And lastly, we observed that an ex-office manager of Miller and Canopy Law Firm was taking money from them for mortgage payments on a house with no equity, according to Neal in 2014. Kelly Jo Hunt pleaded guilty to stealing over $600,000 from the firm over a multi-year period. Neal stated that she was able to sometimes issue herself 2 paychecks using unauthorized overtime pay, inflated her wages, and used false bookkeeping entries to kind of cover her tracks. And this article was just an example of how at risk the company is from other employees, not just initial partners, and taking money from the firm. According to the book by Melvin and Katz, they stated that in order for LLPs to protect themselves, they have to have limited liability insurance. And it just shows that the company will not be at fault for high-risk situations such as this one in our case where money's being stolen from inside the company, and it just states that they will be repaid because of the insurance policy. There were a lot of articles on how law firms and limited liability partnerships businesses in general dealt with crises similar to ours, and within this research we found that it was best that C&G stay quiet about the situation and just buy out Kelsey's portion of the business and change the name of the LLP, which will be discussed within our recommendations.
At C&G, we have a few different options of how we can move forward and handle this situation. Obviously, we have questions of ethics and our reputation. We don't want to lose any clients or have our reputation ruined, but we also have to consider our ethics and what we believe is the correct choice to take moving forward. Our first recommendation that we could follow through with is we could buy partner Kelsey Cook out of the company. Doing this would not cause a scene. The public would not need to know all the details of what happened. We would just let them know that Kelsey is no longer going to be a part of the company, and we can move forward that way. We would avoid the negative publicity of that. This way, Kelsey would no longer be a part of the company, so she could no longer embezzle from us. However, there could be potential leaking of information, and this could lead to negative publicity. Our second recommendation is that we could report Kelsey Cook to the bar. Doing this would hold her responsible for her actions. She could become disbarred, and this would mean she would not be able to steal from anyone else, especially our company, but this would prevent her from moving to another firm and doing the same to them. This helps us question our ethics because we believe that reporting her and getting her disbarred would be a good thing to do because, like I said, she then could not
make these wrong choices and affect other people in the future. However, this could potentially, we could get a negative reaction from our clients. This may lead them to not trust us anymore if they knew what happened with Kelsey. And this would also ruin the relationship between Kelsey and Grace, and as they have a long history and have been partners for a long time. Our third recommendation that we could follow through with would be to keep quiet. We could try to sweep this issue under the rug and allow Kelsey to continue with our partnership, but we would need to make sure that she would pay back what she took from the company, but do so quietly. So this way, our company wouldn't lose out on the money we would be reimbursed. However, it would be really bad for our reputation if this information was leaked, and this would most likely lead our clients to no longer trust us. We feel that this would not be the ethical thing to do. So after careful consideration, we believe our best option moving forward is to let Kelsey go from the firm. That we know we are, and to hopefully uphold our great reputation in Lexington.
To conclude, we at C&G, now the legal aid of the Bluegrass, have been faced with a difficult and complicated issue regarding the embezzlement from one of our partners, Kelsey. Unfortunately, the situation has become all too common and familiar in the world of business, and more specifically LLPs. Through our research, we were able to learn from other companies' history and take measures not to repeat it. Based on the careful consideration of the remaining executives of C&G and the information we have discovered via our research, we have narrowed down our choices of future proceedings to 3 major options and have now chosen what we believe to be the best option going forward. Our first option was to have Grace buy Kelsey's shares of the corporation and keep the proceedings private and away from the media. The pros of this decision would be, most importantly, to save face for the company. We could potentially avoid a major scandal and the risk of losing customers, as well as have the benefits of expunging the embezzlement. However, we would lose the embezzled money and run the risk of not only letting Kelsey potentially steal from another firm in the future, but there's a chance that leaked information could get to the media and we would have to let Kelsey get off free for no reason. The second option for C&G would be to report Kelsey to the Bar Association and have her disbarred. While this may be the most ethically sound decision, it also runs the incredibly substantial risk of losing a huge amount of business for the company. Our final option was to alert Kelsey of the situation and allow her the opportunity to pay back the money quietly and keep her job. The plus side of this is that we hopefully get the money back, and the company's work-social balance goes undisturbed because no one is let go. However, the major drawbacks are that obviously there is still a chance that Kelsey will refuse to return the money, and an even bigger chance that she will continue to embezzle. This would also strongly oppose our moral and ethical code that our firm makes great efforts to uphold. After careful consideration, we made what we strongly feel is the correct decision to pursue option 1. We felt that this option provides the greatest amount of positive outcomes while minimizing damages both fiscally and reputation-wise. While the situation is clearly unfortunate and has taken a toll on our firm, it is important to focus on the positives of the situation even more so than the negatives. We have significant reason to believe that businesses will begin to boom as a result of our actions. Not only will we have the added revenue flow returned that was being taken by Kelsey, but now with the resulting rebranding, we can expect new clients and added business thanks to the giant marketing push we will have done to introduce the legal aid of the Bluegrass. We hope that you, the stockholders, will see the silver lining and continue to support our cause to help the community of Lexington. We thank you wholeheartedly for remaining with us and continuing to support us through this difficult time for the company.